Yeah. Well, first of all, I want to say it was from the time we got off the bus at Hog Walk, all the way down into the stadium, and through the entire ball game, I want to commend our fans. It was a great environment for a home opener. I was very impressed, and we appreciate that. I want to credit Portland State. I thought those guys, as we knew, would come ready to play. We knew that those guys had nothing to lose. We knew we were going to get their best shot, and we did. And I want to give those guys credit. They played our tail off. Never will I ever apologize for winning. There's no such thing as a bad win. You win and you correct. Now, you may not have played as well as you want to play, and we didn't at all. But we won, and we're going to be able to correct off of this, and we'll be back in here tomorrow and see this football team improve going into a big game next week in Oxford. And so we got a lot of stuff we got to correct. Played a lot of young guys, but that's part of it. I thought our defense played well. I thought that they swarmed the football. I think we lost contain on the quarterback, and really he was kind of their spark. They got them going and kept them going, especially in the first half. And we had a couple personal fouls, which was just totally unacceptable, which resulted in points. You can't do that. That's not who we are. And so those are things we got to get corrected. But overall, defensively, I thought we played well. I thought we got after the quarterback. We forced him off his spot, but we lost contain too many times. And that'll be something that we'll continue to improve on. I was very disappointed offensively. Didn't think that we really ever got into a rhythm. I was by design. I was going to play Nick. I didn't know exactly when I was going to play him, but opportunity to get him some reps. And that's what we chose to do, what I chose to do, and I thought he did okay. Thought he did some things that has been. We were just okay, and we'll continue to improve. We got a lot of work to do offensively, but not the performance that I wanted to see from an offensive unit in week one. But we found a way, and I thought there was some good things with some of the guys that made some plays. I thought you saw Traylon Burks make a few plays. We missed him on a few throws.
Hello. It's On the Hill with Pat Jenkins Sports Talk Radio. It's our Tuesday edition of On the Hill with Pat Jenkins Sports Talk Radio, coming to you live each and every day here on KDSJ 479. And real quick, I want to give a shout out to our sponsors, Lindsay and Associates, Locomotion, Corey Beck's Custom Painting, and KDK's Chicken. And we're here to wrap up Arkansas, the 20-13 home opener versus Portland State. And I'm telling you, Demetrius, the drawback, and come on in, the blowback from this game, it baffles me. I mean, it totally baffles me. The social media critique that happened after Saturday night's game, I mean, to me, I saw a lot of positives. But what I've come to realize, and I'm gonna get on the Razorback fans just a little bit. What I've come to realize is it's a very unsupportive group. I mean, I saw a lot of bashing of these kids, and in particular, whoever the fan was that got on social media and you personally bashed Dorian Gerald, you should be ashamed of yourself. If this kid goes out, this kid had a strained artery. If he would have went out and played that game on Saturday, you're talking about a possible death on our hands. And I don't understand what gives you the right, or any fan, the right to bash kids. I say this, Demetrius, this is my theory, and I've said it all weekend. If the fans want the players to raise up your level, then you raise your level up. Fill the seats, 61,000 seats filled in an 80,000 seat stadium, but you want your kids to step it up, you step it up as a fan base. I think, because what I'm getting is a very arrogant fan base that doesn't want to put in any of the work, but they want these kids to go out each and every Saturday and play hard and the wild plays, and I'm tired of watching that. I looked in that stadium and I saw 61,000 people. You're the only Razorback. You have the only unique call in the country. And as a fan base, you're not taking advantage of it, Razorback fans. You're not filling the seats. You're not taking advantage of what you can. And to ask these kids to always step it up, you step it up as a fan base. That's what I have to say. Now we're back onto the game. I just had to get that off my chest.
I had to interrupt your rant, though.
Really disappointed.
I can't be mad at the fan base because I'm surprised 40,000 came out, because if I'm a 2-10 team, I'm not coming out.
See, I'm not buying that because I saw Nebraska go 2-10. I saw them go 4-7.
That's fine. That's fine. This is
can put 90,000
no
in a tumultuous year.
Nah, bro.
Why can't the Razorbacks think?
Because I think now it's different. You're talking about. I'm not saying Nebraska doesn't have culture, because they've won national championships. They've been competitive in multiple sports. But you have to look at the longevity of what this fan base has been dealing with. This fan base has been a losing fan base for going on 5 years. Since I've came to the university.
I'm a coach in the SEC. The fan that tweeted at Dorian, I'm going to highlight it. I'm going to screenshot, and I'm going to use it in recruiting to every kid that has Arkansas on the list that I'm recruiting against. Every kid. I'm going to use that.
That's fine, but you're going to get that at every SEC school you go to. Why? Because it means more in the SEC. That's why I'm not saying that the fan is right. I'm not saying anything that he's done is right, but I don't care. That would have taken place anywhere at SEC school, bro.
Tennessee's going to have the worst year in the conference. They're going to be the worst team in the conference, but I guarantee you they're going to sell out almost every
game. No.
Those people are going to come because they're true fans.
No.
So Arkansas fans to me are like Atlanta Braves fans.
I can't say that.
I'm just going to be honest.
I can't say that they're going to sell out every game now. Will they have seats filled at the game? Yes, but you can't tell me.
At 100,000, I think they'll have about 80 every year. Every Saturday when they play at home, and Arkansas can barely get 60. Jeremy Pruitt is the coach at Tennessee. A new coach. I mean, it just baffles me. It baffles me that you're trying to ask these kids. Kids are looking for fan bases that are loyal. I talked to multiple kids during the recruiting process,
and I think from a fan,
who's loyal.
And from a fan base, we looking for a team to win.
But what I don't understand. I saw a lot of positives in that game.
I saw.
I mean, as a fan, if you went to that game and you can't say that you didn't see a better secondary, then you're not watching the game of football.
I can't say I didn't see a total better product. I did see a better product, but I still was unsatisfied with the product that I saw on the field. Now I have to agree with you. They do look better, bro, but they don't. They are not where they should be right now.
Arkansas's got a long way to go, fan base. If you expect these kids to play national championship caliber, right, it's not there. You've got 52 underclassmen. I'm not making excuses. This is reality. This is where the University of Arkansas's program is at. Chad Morris came in here and had to get 52 new football players in a year and a half. This is where we're at. I mean, this is where our program is. And to sit and think you're supposed to walk out, and I was one of them that thought it was going to be a blowout. Didn't happen. But I never felt like Arkansas was in any threat to lose that game. I mean, I wouldn't want to be.
I can't say that.
I wouldn't want to be South Carolina.
How can you not say they weren't any threat, bro? And it was a one touchdown game.
Because when you look at that game, but when you look at that game, Portland State never got to Arkansas's 35-yard line on their side of the field. They never got to that.
They got to the end zone. That's why it was 13 to 20.
I'm up to the listeners. I understand that Chad said he's building a program to sustain, not something that's just going to win for temporary. When you build a program, it's going to take some time. There's 18 seniors. There's 52 underclassmen that he's brought in that are sophomores, red shirts, or true freshmen. I mean,
I do agree with you in saying it takes time, but that was not. I'm telling you that from. I told you before the show started. I told you I needed a 40 piece.
Everybody says, but it's what we expect. It's not reality. It's what the fans expect. Look out there. You just won. You won 13 games in the last 7 years.
Exactly. So how can you expect? But
are we at that level?
What do you mean?
I'm really surprised that Chad Morris was able to recruit the class he got last year.
Now I agree with that.
Based on what he came based on the fan support. That's all about recruiting, guys. They're in the top 25 again with this man. It's going to take some time. He's going to have to get his type of player. It didn't take long for. I mean, it takes a while to build something, but in a second it'll all be blown up. And when Bobby Petrino did what he did, we've not recovered. We've not recovered at all. I mean, when you think about it, talent has not been here. A lot of talent. Bobby Petrino went 5-7, 8-5. But the mark of a great coach is the talent that he left behind. What type of talent did this man leave behind for the other coaches? We saw what he left behind at Louisville last night.
No, I mean,
this is the same Bobby Petrino that everybody says is offensive. The man, he goes to Louisville, and last year they gave up 300 yards defensively every Saturday.
I'm
They
not-
gave up 50 points for the last 5 weeks of college football.
I'm not here to talk
College
about Bobby Petrino. I'm telling you what I saw Saturday. I wasn't pleased. And when I'm as a radio voice and me saying, okay, guys, I can see these guys winning 5 to 6 games. Now I have to take a second and reevaluate what I saw Friday. And I'm not sure about that because Ole Miss went out and played a good Memphis. That wasn't a bad team. Memphis went out there and lost to.
It's terrible. Offensively, they're terrible. When you hold a team to 15 points defensively, you're not supposed to lose that game. You don't lose holding a team to 15 points, but you only get 10. Arkansas and Ole Miss is in the same situation that Arkansas was. They play Memphis. They're having to learn a brand new offensive scheme.
But that's what I'm
they're
saying.
Not used to.
Look at the caliber of team they play versus the caliber of team. You can't tell me Memphis is not better than Portland State, though.
I didn't say that at all. What I'm basically saying is you have to look at where Arkansas was last year and years before.
But I'm looking where Ole Miss is now. You got to think, Ole Miss was in a worse situation with us. They were on post. What? They couldn't go to a post game for the last 2 years. So they've been in sanctions. They've been in sanctions for the last 2 years.
They beat Ole Miss. Ole Miss beat them 1 out of 5 years. Last year they blew the game.
We haven't beat them since the Hunter Heave.
Rakeem Boyd, you lost. Ty Story, you lost 3 players right there in that game that were. Yeah, I mean, you lost Rakeem Boyd that was at a 105-yard clip, and he was in the second quarter.
That's part of football.
He went out.
That's part of football.
I guarantee you that this football team in the future, if you're expecting, I'll say this, if you expect Arkansas to win 8-9 games,
I didn't.
That's not the team.
I said 5. I'm talking 5. I didn't even say 8. I'm talking 5, bro. I'm having a hard time seeing 5.
I said 6 wins, 7 with the bowl game. Naturally you improve from game 1 to game 2. They didn't show a lot of stuff. Why would you throw out the sink and you got an SEC game coming up the following week?
I'm talking about execution. I'm not even saying you had to deliver out the tank. There was a lot of things, even on the defensive side. As good as the defense played, or however you think, I mean, there was a lot of mistakes. There was a lot of basic I'm not even talking about highlights. I'm talking about fundamental gap protection, reads. It does. It does.
How many redshirt freshmen, sophomores, and true freshmen did they play?
But hold on.
They're playing 5 seniors on your defense. The rest is the 52 new guys.
And that's fine.
It's a process. It's called maturation.
I seen your senior leadership make a lot of these mistakes.
There was overrunning the ball, and those guys came into that press conference and they acknowledged what they had to work on. That's the one thing I noticed about this team. They're not making excuses. They stand up as men. They knew they had a lot of overran balls because it was a lot of overran and over pursuing when the guy was getting scramble route. You take that quarterback off the football field that was running for his life, they don't do a thing off it.
But Pat, you can't say if you take that. You have to go by
Arkansas
what is on the field.
5 sacks in the game. They had 5 picks last year, the entire 12-game season, and picked off 3 in game 1.
And name.
So
okay.
it just goes to show me they've been taking the ball away in fall camp defensively. They've been averaging about 2 to 3 turnovers. It's translating. This is a young football team.
It
guys,
is.
I'm not making excuses.
It is.
This is a team that's going to have to grow before our eyes.
And I'm not doubting anything what you're saying.
Joe Adams and that crew junior year in 2010 before we really took off. They were juniors, guys. Juniors on the football field.
I totally understand.
They weren't seniors. They were juniors when they had the big game.
I understand, but Pat, I want you to look at this. Look, do you know you're saying, oh, in the time we're going to get better, but do you understand our schedule gets harder for the next 2 years? This is the easiest schedule we have within the next 3 years.
Not as hard as it has been.
What?
They're not even in the top tough.
So you're telling me the next 2 year schedules that Arkansas has coming up?
You're adding Notre Dame.
Okay.
This year. We saw Notre Dame.
Okay.
I don't think Notre Dame can beat an SEC team. It's a speed difference.
I don't know. I can't say it because it's multiple SEC teams lost this week, so I can't say we SEC. That's no longer an excuse.
Would you have wanted to be Ole Miss, or would you have wanted to be South Carolina or Missouri, who should not have gotten beat by a Wyoming football team?
I agree. I'm not saying I didn't say I was
Georgia State team,
but I'm telling you what the things that we have to work on and the things that I saw. I wasn't impressed. I can't worry about what those other schools doing. I'm reporting on Arkansas, and all I can do is talk about the eye test.
This is an agree to disagree show. I get it. But I'm looking for the growth long term. I'm not looking for the quick fix. They didn't have the wow plays. There wasn't a deep ball, but you had 1 sack. Last year, your quarterback probably gets knocked down 4 or 5 times every single game. There has been improvement on the offensive line to a certain degree. Yes, do they have to get a little tougher? You have to continue to add depth at that position? Absolutely. But you're getting young guys in. You're getting guys that you're going to need as the season progresses on and as the future of this program goes forward. Those guys are getting in the game. It's a young football team. This is where we're at. And it's gonna be growing pains. When you're a little kid, it's maturation. There's gonna be moments you look good, but you also have moments when you're growing up where you just look like you're young and not in sync. And they did look like in sync. They were out of sync sometimes. I get all that. I think with the drop passes, there's 7 drop passes. Put those on Ben Hicks. Ben Hicks goes 21 or 29 for the game.
I mean, there were several reads that I thought he should have hit that were touchdowns. There was specifically one play.
Nick Starkel comes in the game and tries to get the starting position back on his first initial time out there. I'm in the press box. The guy never moved. The linebacker didn't move. If you look to the second level, if he waits and looks to that second level, he has Grayson Gunner standing in the end zone wide open, but you come out and you try to get it back in one play. And it's a process. And I understand he wanted to press, came back to a great pass to Trey Knox. This is a team, it's going to take time. You can tell with those 2 freshmen, Ben Hicks had to get some of those guys. 11 new starters that had never played a football game in Razorback Stadium started on Saturday. 11 new guys. And they're going to go out there and play like Alabama? No, it's about experience. You have to learn on the fly. I anticipate this team to play a lot better in Game 1 than what they did in Game 2. I expect them to win. I've only got Arkansas. I'm not going to give away my score. I think they'll win a close one. And just have to, it's going to be a week-to-week thing. It's going to be a week-to-week thing with this team. They're going to have to grow. I know it sucks because they've been so bad for so many years. I get it. But it's the maturation process that has to happen. You look at Kentucky. Kentucky has built over the years. Mark Stoops has built their program over a course of years. And we all know Kentucky's not a basketball school. But he's built his program through patience, through support of the boosters and the alumni. And you look at Kentucky now. Kentucky's a contender that I think Arkansas won't beat. I
have to stop you though. But look at what I'm no disrespect to Chad Morris. Look at what coach they went out and got. They went and got a proven coach. This guy has national championships on this.
Was never a proven coach.
What?
Mark Stoops was never. He's a coordinator.
What do you mean? Okay. So
Chad Morris was a coordinator. Chad Morris, guys don't even realize, had he not showed up in 2011, Dabo Swinney is fired.
I don't want to hear that because Dabo still got a job and Dabo's still winning championships.
Dabo, when he hired Dabo, was coming off a 6 and 7
That's
year.
Cool.
The initial year that Chad Morris took over.
But I can't say it's because of Chad because Dabo's still winning championships. So
Chad Morris's offense that got him going.
How?
He was there for 4 years, 2011 to 2014. They only lost 4 or 5 games
okay, but
with him as the offensive coordinator.
It's not his offense if they can remove you and still do it without you.
An offensive scheme that had guys that stepped right in. Coach Scott was a wide receiver coach.
That's fine.
Dabo has not really changed his staff.
He doesn't have to.
The new offensive coordinator stepped in because he was a running backs coach. But Chad got the culture to where kids wanted to go play there.
That's not true.
With the culture, after a 4-year period, when you go from 11 to 14 and you only lost 4 games, you become an attractive program, I think.
So you obviously think Chad was the one element that made Clemson.
Chad didn't show up with that offense in 2011. Dabo Swinney was getting fired. Dabo was coming off a 6 and 7 year.
So you telling me Bob Stoops? So you telling me Bob Stoops doesn't win any games over there at Oklahoma without his brother being the defensive coordinator?
Walked into an already good program. LSU, you're going to walk into a ready-made program. There's certain programs that are just ready-made. Dan Mullen doesn't have to do much in Florida. He doesn't have to do much in Florida. Not at all.
What?
Dan Mullen's coming into a program that had multiple top 10 recruiting classes.
Okay.
If they don't like the coach, then they don't like the coach.
Bro, it's more than recruiting. It's more than recruiting.
Moorhead goes to Florida, leaves Mississippi State. He comes to Mississippi State in a ready-made program.
Okay. How many coaches have you seen go to ready-made programs?
I'm saying, how much did Moorhead do at Mississippi State to make them much better?
That
was already something that was going to come. And my whole deal is fan base need to step it up. Step it up.
But Moorhead still going to take some L's down there in Mississippi State.
What I'm saying is, you got to step it up. Those people, you're talking about packed stadiums where people are there. They sell out at Davis Wade. You don't sell out a game here at Fayetteville, Arkansas, and you have one of the nicest facilities in all of college football. All of college football. And you can't come and they're not going to sell out. You sell out for Alabama, but you don't sell out for game. Arkansas fans come when it's good. I've watched it happen with the basketball girls. There was nobody in that arena last year.
But bro,
nobody.
It's not even fun to watch them on offense come
But
out and play.
But
Like
they
it would be one. It would be one
I've
thing.
seen way more in practice in fall camp than what I saw Saturday. They didn't show anything.
But
They didn't show anything at all.
Pat, I'm not saying they had to show anything. I'm strictly talking about execution. We're not even talking about trick plays. We're not talking about. We're not talking about the wishbone. I'm not talking about iPhone affirmation. I'm talking about executing the plays that they ran against a less caliber. That was a less caliber team.
You're gonna have execution when you. It's different in practice and game. 11 new starters. Things are a lot different when it speeds up.
I agree.
You have to go through that, and you have to learn game to game to game. It's a maturation process. When I was a little kid, my first step, I wasn't running,
Pat, I understand.
but I learned
that.
how to run. It's just a process. This is a young football team, whether people like to listen or not. 39 of your top 44 players on this weekend's roster will be back for at least 2 years or more. 39 of these kids.
That's fine.
39. We all know in the SEC, it's a junior senior league.
So Pat,
it's a defensive line
so
league.
what you gonna say when the seniors leave next year?
I've never. Hey, then they become a better football team because you got 39 kids that are going to be back.
So next year, when next year come around, you're gonna say, oh well, we may not be competing because we got a team full of sophomores.
Getting games. These are better football players. These 39 than
That's
what have been
cool.
here over
I'm
the
saying
years.
next year when Scooter leaves and all these
They're going to be a better football team. They have 39 guys that are coming back in your top 44. How can you not get better? You have 39 guys in your top 44 is what I'm telling the listeners that will be here 2 to 3 years.
That's fine.
You don't have a senior in your secondary. You're playing a total of 8 that are making impact. Nine seniors are making an impact in your top 44.
Gotcha.
You're going to get better because the games that you get.
Pat,
you can only
getting
get
better and
by
winning is
experience.
two different things. I can get better every day, but that still don't mean okay, it's just like this. I can go to work and do more work at my job, but that still don't mean I'm gonna get paid more.
What was Joe Adams again in sophomore year? They went 8-5, right? They were juniors. We'll keep going back to those 2 years. Everybody keep talking about. Those kids were juniors and seniors. Doesn't matter about the coach. We're talking about the experience factor. When they went BCS and Cotton Bowl, back-to-back years, those kids were juniors and seniors. And you had a.
I understand.
And you
I
had
understand
a great.
that.
You didn't have a good quarterback. You had a first-round quarterback in Mallett that you got that fell into your lap due to a lack of the assistant coach leaving Michigan.
No,
and going to
let's not use it as an excuse. That's just like the portal. We got to stop using because Brian Miller okay, Ben Hicks just transferred in. That's the guy that he played with.
I'm totally. I saw a lot. I could say the wow plays. I think this is all about not seeing wow plays because you do have 4 stars. You have a highly rated class. You got Traylon and Trey and Mike Woods, and that all looks good and it's good eye candy. And you didn't have wow plays. You had almost 400 yards of offense in that game Saturday. Almost 400 yards with using a vanilla offense.
Pat, and you had 400 yards, but you didn't have the points to show for it. I don't care if you got 1,000 yards. If you still got 20-some points on the board.
Maturity, yes, it was a maturity
That's
thing.
what I've been saying the whole time.
You scored 4 out of 6 times. You got in the end zone. You got in the red zone. 4 out of 6.
And it should have been
If
more.
you don't throw the pick, you scored another one. Arkansas should have really won that game 38-6 is what the final score should have been.
But we're talking about what is. I can't talk about what is.
From my vantage point, I never thought Arkansas was in danger to lose that game. That was a freak play. I'm standing in the end zone. I see the ball go over the kid. I'm standing right there at sideline level. It was a freak catch. They mistimed the jump. It should have never been called, and it's 20-6. And then what? But I think Arkansas's fan base say they would have went out 158-0. We all know they would have found something to complain.
You always. But what I'm still telling you is I still would have a better. I would have a better feeling. I didn't see the execution that I was expecting to see.
We don't know. We can't judge this team because we haven't figured out their identity yet.
Absolutely.
So that's why I'm saying I get on social media and people are already saying 5 wins, 6. How do we know that? Because they haven't had their identity yet. We don't know. We just predict, like myself, 6 wins. But I don't know that.
But that's what I'm saying, Pat. That's what I'm saying. With the opinion that I'm formulating, I'm only going off of what I saw Saturday. I'm not going off of what they doing in practice. What I seen, I'm going off the game and what I saw.
Time that's great for listeners. I reserve my opinion and why I'm so comfortable because of what I have seen in practice. I know that's not the key, and I know they didn't show half of the stuff that they're going to show. because of what I seen 18 days of fall camp. I know that was a very vanilla offensive and defensive game. I know that.
Pat, what does vanilla offense have to do with execute? See, I ain't even talking about offense and defense. I'm talking about execution.
That's first time jitters. Now you have film that you can teach off of. You don't apologize for that win. You take that film and you teach off of it.
I never said anything about apologizing about a win.
So I think game 1 to game 2, and I think these coaches are good enough that they're going to teach these kids. When you have film, it's a lot more of these kids to see, okay, now this is what I need to do and where I need to be. None of these 11 starters had film. Traylon were in high school this time last year. So was Myra. He was in a junior college. They had starters that had never
played. So Bumper Pool and Hunter
here.
Henry didn't have any film.
Who?
Bumper Pool and Hunter Henry didn't have.
Bumper Pool was a defensive starter. I'm talking about 11 offensive starters is what we're making this point. 11 new starters that started in Saturday's game that never was around to start. I thought Colton Jackson, I even think, was hurt in the first 3 games. Didn't even play. We're talking about 11 new starters took that field on Saturday for the Razorback offensive team. And it's going to take time for all of them guys to get used to them, to get used to playing. That's just what it's going to take. And it sucks. It does suck since you're starting 2 freshmen, a sophomore wide receiver, that you're starting. You got juniors. You have true freshmen in your 2 deep chart. But what I'm saying is this is going to be a very rough year, but these guys are going to grow. I think the senior leadership, Arkansas during my time under Brett Bielema, never had 6 defensive linemen on their defensive line at any point. You lose 1, now you have to throw 2 more freshmen in there. So now you're starting. You have 3 true freshmen rotate to fill Dorian Gerald's spot. The good thing about it, Dorian will be back, and he has a redshirt year. So you're going to have another defensive end who I thought was playing a fabulous game on Saturday. Fabulous game. It's a process. It wasn't as pretty as the fans, and I get it. We all want to have pretty wins. We don't like ugly losses, and sometimes we don't like ugly wins. But that's what this was, and it's going to be a process week in to week out. This team has to grow. 52 new players have showed up at Arkansas. 52. Now, if your program is solid, you don't have to get 52 new guys in a year and a half of recruiting. You don't bring in 52 scholarship kids. That's my point. Now, did they play great? They didn't have a perfect game. You're not supposed to play perfect in game 1. I watched the Alabama team play Duke, the number 2 team in the country, and only had 14 points in the first half. You're supposed to walk out there and blow them up because you got a Heisman Trophy got the quarterback spot with 4 returning offensive linemen. And you score 14 points in the first half against Duke. That's the first game. That's the first game.
Yeah, but Pat, what was the end score to that game?
But I'm saying in the first half, you're supposed to put way more points.
Just answer my question. Just answer.
They lose a quarterback who's playing on Sunday.
Pat.
They lost a 3 wide receiver.
What was the end game?
You're supposed to put more than 14 points on this guy when you have your receivers who's up for a Heisman, Jerry Jeudy, and you have a Heisman Trophy quarterback, and you have a returning running back in Najee Harris. You're supposed to put up more than 14 points in the first half.
So how many points did they have at the end of the game?
38 points.
I'm cool.
But you're supposed to put up more than 14 in the first half.
No, as long as you win the game. I don't care about the half. Arkansas could have scored no points and scored 40 points in the second half, and I still would have had a better comment to say than what they showed me.
I understand that. But we're going to take a good break. We got a real good conversation, and we're going to come back. This thing is really, really on fire. I'm loving it. We'll be back. It's On the Hill with Pat Jenkins on KDSJ 479. You know what I say. Let's get it.
But I did tell him, and he knew that all week long, he was going to go in. He was going to go in sometime in the first half when the game was in some meaningful moments, and because I wanted to see how he would respond. So.
Last year, Coach, you had 5 new sections in 12 games. Today they had 3 different players. Talk about that.
Well, again, I think that's credit to our defensive front. I thought our defensive front forced him to make some impulse decisions. And, I was pleased. Joe had 1, Cam had 1, and Jacquez had 1. I thought in both Cam and Jacquez was a really good pick. So, I thought that was more of a credit to our defensive front.
Were you sure to get down on that last one?
I was about to tackle him. And we worked that. We don't work it enough. He knows.
Chad, their defensive scheme, like they played their linebackers 7, 8, 9 yards deep, was that taking some alleys away from y'all, what they were doing?
Well, we knew what they were doing. I mean, we had prepared for it. It was a little bit different. It's the flex front. And so there's a little few things that can mess with your rules a little bit, but overall, I mean, we knew they were either going to roll into cover 2 or going to stay in the man.
And Chad, I guess you just decided to hold the radio. He wasn't quite ready, and didn't see Gerald playing the second half. So something happened to him. And then how's Caps?
I don't know. I haven't talked to the doctors yet on Caps. We'll find out. We'll figure that out. Probably when I get back in there. CJ just wasn't ready, and so he'll be ready this week. But and then Dorian Gerald, we just chose to keep him out the second half and just to continue monitoring him.
What was it?
I don't know exactly what it was, but it had something to do. He got his bell rung or whatever it was.
And as bad as he definitely started for next week, and did you think about playing Nick more?
I didn't. I thought that our possessions were limited in the second half. But no, we'll go back and Ben's we'll go back in and reevaluate, and Ben will be back in there next week. And we got to get these guys ready, though. I mean, this is a long season, and these guys are going to have to get themselves, and we're going to have to get them ready. And right now, you get them ready in ball games. So.
What did you think of Portland State's last drive, the one that led to the touchdown? Just seemed like a long penalty-filled drive, and then they pull out a fourth down play.
Yeah, well, they found a way to make that fourth down play. Their tight end he knew he's a really good football player. People were around him, and he just went up and got the ball. But too many defensive penalties. We jumped off sides. I had a couple of freshmen jump off sides in the neutral zone. They snapped the ball, but the guys found a way right there. They got an empty and just run the quarterback or throw slants on us.
You also had, I think, 5 or 6 sacks. Can you maybe talk about what the scheme was on that, and then how were you able to establish your run? What did you do well in the run game?
Well, I thought that from a sack standpoint, the pressure that we're able to put on with our defensive front helped as much as anything. Sometimes we were getting to him with 4 and forcing him off the spot. We should have had a few more than that, but give those guys credit. I mean, the guy was scrappy. Both of those quarterbacks were scrappy and made some plays. And I thought from our run game standpoint, I thought we did some good things. We had some mistakes that we had some MAs, missed assignments early on. But I thought once we got a few things cleaned up, we were able to run our inside zone and our counter and let our backs go to work and find the ball or find the crease.
Welcome back. It's our Tuesday edition of On the Hill. Man, I'm looking at our Twitter. I'm looking at our Facebook feed, Demetrius, and I'm talking about we have a lot of interested viewers. And Terry Tillis has a question. Terry's from Oklahoma. Terry says, "What do you think about Arkansas leaving the SEC, going to a different conference, meaning i.e. the Big 12?" Nope. I like where Arkansas is. If you're going to be the best, you got to beat the best, and you can't run around and expect easy. It's always going to come down to more talent is in the SEC than any other conference, and the NFL draft just proves that. You go back and look at how many guys got drafted from the Big 12 over a 5-year period. Not many, but then you go look at the SEC. I mean, I'm about playing the best. I, as a covering the University of Arkansas, I couldn't get up for a Kansas State game. I couldn't get up to go watch Baylor, Texas Tech year in, year out, TCU, West Virginia. I mean, those types of games, then you get up. I'm going to get up for Oklahoma. I'll get up for Oklahoma State, and I'll get up for Texas. But outside of that, who else are you getting up for? Is that the conference you really want to be in? Because if it comes to a 1-loss Big 12 and a 2-loss SEC, we all know which way they're going to go. No, I'm of the belief Arkansas is in the proper conference. They've won SEC West titles. You have to, like you said, build a program and sustain it and continue to recruit. These guys that they have here, Chad Morris's staff, case in point. I know of one fact, that Michael Smith recruited Joe Fouché for 3 years to the University of Arkansas. Talked to Joe throughout his high school career. Didn't take an unofficial or an official. Ron Cooper gets hired. He takes an official the week later, and he signs with Arkansas. It's about recruiting and things that people know. And when I asked Joe why he did that, Joe's same response was he coached Claiborne. the Cowboys. He had Patrick Peterson. He coached the same guy that went to my high school in the Honey Badger, and multiple defensive backs. Ron Cooper was the one where, let's all be upfront about it, was the one that started the DBU at LSU. And I can tell when you look at the talent that he's brought here, and just his second year on campus, you can see the difference in the cornerbacks, and you can see the difference in a lot of the kids that this staff is bringing in. It's going to take time. This is not going to be a quick fix by any means. It's going to be a year that these kids are going to mature. These kids are going to, like I said, have good moments. They're going to have bad moments. But the deal is to continue to grow. And I think that's what I see growth in this program. The thing that stood out, overall team speed jumped out at me. This is a faster team than Arkansas has had defensively. They're a better overall offensive skill position team, top to bottom, with the depth that they're starting to attract. I mean, it says a lot when you're able to redshirt a 5-star tight end, Hudson Henry. It says a lot when you're able to redshirt him. Jalen Catalon, another 4-star. He didn't get a chance to play, but I anticipate he's going to get a chance to play in that secondary in there. It's just going to be a lot of young guys that Arkansas is going to have to rely on. I mean, they have no choice. You only have 18 seniors. You got to have your younger guys play up to a standard, or a championship standard, I should say. I mean, where are you at with that? Because, like I said, I get your points. I mean, everybody made great points in the opening statement. But like I said, I'm of the guy that I'm watching a program, and I understand that it's going to take some time.
Well, you asked me as far as like Arkansas moving to a different conference.
Yeah, I mean, do you think they go SEC or Big 12, or what? If there was a conference you would put them in? I mean, what's your take on it?
I mean, if you want to win and win easy, you go to Big 12. It only makes sense. I think it's a lesser conference than the SEC. I think it fits more of the recruiting and play style that Arkansas has. But if you're looking as far as competition and trying to establish Arkansas as a true blue blood of college football, I think you stay in the SEC. But I think Arkansas lowers its probability of being that true blue blood in the SEC. I don't even think, honestly, I have to put Arkansas on the same tier as like Vanderbilt. Who else is in the bottom of the East?
Vanderbilt, Ole Miss.
And I even see Vanderbilt being a better program. If I had to take Vanderbilt or Arkansas today, if I'm a kid recruiting from Arkansas or Vanderbilt, I'm taking Vanderbilt right now just based off them winning and who the coach is. So I just think you really can't say right now as far as what conference Arkansas deserves to be in, because of course I think right now, just looking at wins and losses, you're going to say Big 12, because right now Arkansas could immediately go over to the Big 12 and compete. But I think when you look at the standards of the SEC, Arkansas still has years to grow, and to consistently sustain that growth is going to be one thing. But I think year in, year out, Arkansas will be able to be top 3 in the Big 12.
See, I think stay in the SEC, because I continue to say what Chad Moore said. He's building a program that can sustain over a course of time. And, he made one big statement. His job is to improve each and every position room in the Smith Center. And I think he's done that over the last 2 years. I think he's going to continue to do that. He's picked up 2 big-time commitments over this past weekend, and 4-star wide receiver, Memphis Central, Darian Turner, and Bryant defensive end, Catrell Wallace. I think those guys will be really, really good. He's in the top. Arkansas is in the top 25 recruiting classes for yet another year. And it's just going to continue. They have to continue to build talent, stockpile talent on talent is where we're at. Arkansas is not a university. I mean, it's the farthest in the SEC. I'm not going to make any excuse about that. It is what it is. But I just think this staff, over a course of time, are going to be able to recruit the type of players that it's going to take to change this program around. I mean, Steve Caldwell was the infamous coach that recruited a guy that we all come to love in the Borders. That's Trey Flowers. He was a Steve Caldwell recruit. Darius Philon, even though he's gone through some disruptions at the NFL level, hopefully that he can get all taken care of. He was a Steve Caldwell recruit. So I think they all identify professional athletes. It's just going to take some time. They're great developers of talent. This team has a lot of growth still yet to do, but I feel like as the season goes on with the senior leadership, I'm still sticking with my 6 wins. I'm not going to come off that. I think they're going to win all 4 of the non-conference, and I think they get 2 or 3 conference games, with Ole Miss being one of the conference games. So if you win this conference game, you're 4-0. Non-conference, that's 5 wins. Then that gives you 7 games to win 1 more. And I really think that they're going to win 1 more. Either it's going to be, it could be Kentucky, it could be Mississippi State, it could be Missouri, or it could be Texas A&M. Yeah, but I still believe Arkansas is going to beat somebody this year that they're not expected to beat. But I do think this team will play a lot better come this Saturday at 6:30 in Vaught Hemingway Stadium versus the Ole Miss Rebels.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, all your states are factual, man. I definitely have to agree.
It comes out the new depth chart, and I want to make a note. Dorian Gerald, we found out yesterday via Chad Morris and the Monday availability with the coaches. He and Joe Craddock and John Chavis will be out the duration of the 2019 season due to a strained artery in his neck. A strained artery in his neck. Also made a note that Cheyenne O'Grady will be back out and will be in Saturday's game plan. Also, to Eric Gregory, close to coming back, true freshman defensive end, close to coming back. Matea Soli has a fractured hand, will be playing in a cast. Also, to Jamario Bell, banged up his knee a little bit in that first half. I'm pretty sure those that watched the game or were in attendance in Donald W. Reynolds saw a little hobbling. He's going to be out. Now, this is going to be and then they're going to add that Zach Williams, true freshman at the defensive end, and also to Colin Clay, another true freshman that is going to get his initial playing time. Zach got a little bit on Saturday, but Colin will be getting his initial playing time in the SEC opener. And I feel real good about it. I feel real good about Colin, and I feel real good about Jamario. I feel good about the defensive front, even to this. And I think that they will go back to practice. Chief mentioned in yesterday's availability that they will, really hone in on pursuit, containment. They did overrun a lot of plays, but I think that was just because they were over aggressive and they wanted it so bad. This team was flying to the ball, and as a result, to their disadvantage, the quarterback there at Portland State was using it. To his advantage with a lot of the cutback runs. The guy ran for his life all day on Saturday. This team had five sacks, and Arkansas hadn't put that much pressure on the quarterback in some time, but it just goes to show the experience. And I've always, and you guys have listened to our show, you've heard me say, the defensive line is only, and this team was only going to go as far as they go based on the experience factor that they have with the bulk of the seniors that are playing in the 2 deep are going to be on the defensive line. You lose Dorian Gerald, and I think that's going to be even an added incentive for those guys to go out and dedicate the rest of the season to Dorian. But we're going to take a real quick break, but we'll be back. It's On the Hill with Pat Jenkins on KDSJ 479. Let's get it. Welcome back. We're going to wrap today's show up. Hope you guys really enjoyed our conversation. We'll be back tomorrow with much, much, much more, as we'll have availability with tonight with the players. We'll let you hear what some of those guys have to say in preview of the Ole Miss 6:30 p.m. kickoff on the SEC Network. Also, too, want to give a shout out to our sponsors, Lindsay and Associates, with an office location in Fayetteville, an office location also too in Rogers. The Locomotion, located just below the Northwest Arkansas Mall in Fayetteville. Corey Beck's Custom Painting. Needed to look good, commercial, residential, doesn't matter. He can make it happen. Call Corey Beck's Custom Painting. And lastly, our new sponsor and our very, very good friend of mine, the best chicken in the South, KDK's Chicken. And like they say, it's not your mama's. Go down and see Kathy and Keith down at 989 Razorback Road. I'm pretty sure They put a lot of love in those places. You're going to want some of that. But that's for myself, for my producer, Demetrius. Until tomorrow, we'll come back with much, much more. It's On the Hill with Pat Jenkins on KDSJ 479. You guys have a blessed one. Like you hear me say, let's get it.